people get upset sometimes when I say the purpose of life is to be happy. And then I tell them I'm quoting the Dalai Lama, and then, oh, okay. Which I really am. He did say that. The purpose of life is to be happy. When he said it, it was okay. So I think he was saying it for all of us to really hear it, because it's using the weight of his grand being, which really is quite grand. And I feel that many people are afraid to look at happiness, especially on the spiritual path. We have this idea that if we're happy, we're not going to get what we should be getting out of life, out of this incarnation. It's only if we learn how to suffer beautifully or gloriously or something that we'll get what we should get. But somehow these infants come in and they know about happiness and they know about peace. They know how to cry every once in a while too. And we lose this connection with this state of happiness. And we lose something very valuable when we lose that. We begin to think that, worse than that, we begin to create a world for ourselves that doesn't value happiness. And there's difficulty in this world, as I said. We're going from one state to another. There's difficulty. But even in times of difficulty, there's the potential for happiness, moments of happiness. And they transform us. This evening, a little while ago, maybe an hour ago or so, I led an online meditation. And the theme of the meditation, anybody want to guess?
Happiness.
Happiness, good guess. Yeah. And there was someone who is on retreat with us now, and this person came for this meditation. And usually when you're on retreat, you're silent. But at the end of the meditation, she said, you know, there was something I hadn't realized before that you said. And I said, what was that? She said, you said happiness is a vibration. It's not a response to a stimulus. And we have a tendency to believe that the right situation will make us happy. And there are situations that make us happy, but that's not the level of happiness that our soul, our spirit, is really seeking. Our spirit is seeking a level of happiness that is not dependent upon stimulation. It's not dependent upon circumstances. It's a happiness that is independent. And more in society today, we're being trained in the wrong direction. That happiness comes from the right input. You put in the right ingredients into the happiness machine, and that's what comes out. And what's happening, of course, is that the level of happiness is diminishing. People are less happy. And when that diminishes, then the level of honor at being a human being diminishes. I mean, morality is not something that can be legislated by anyone. Real morality is the inherent ethical nature of the human being. And ideally, we don't need an outside force, government or religion or cultural pushing to have us be honorable human beings. It is inherent in us to be honorable. But as our connection with the real inner state of happiness diminishes, our ability, our talent at being honorable diminishes. And we, as an individual and as a collective society, become less honorable. What is honorable? An honorable person is someone who is attuned to themselves, who really has an experience where they know, I'm walking the walk of my life, or I'm not. And it's not something that can be taught, and it's not something that can be bought. It's something that we gradually rekindle from our memory as children, because we come in as honorable beings. So, after that delightful prelude, someone should ask the question, well, I want to be happy. How do I get happy? You know, it's a nice talk, but what do I do when the world is falling apart? My world is falling apart, I should say. What do I do when there's so much stress and there's so much strain and, you know, I just don't know where to turn. What do I do? And before you get all excited, I don't know. I mean that. I don't know. There's no universal answer. There's no, you know, take 3 of these, read this book, do this meditation, say this prayer, have this ceremony, take this drug. There isn't that. We've traveled a long way from our center as a collective, not just in the West, but in the East too. We've just traveled a long way from the times when we've been very centered. We also are on a planet that has much more population than it ever had before. And it's not that we can't support it. We can easily support all the people that are on the earth now and that will come to the earth in the future. What we can't support is the level of greed that's here. Mm-hmm. But we can support the population if we behave honorably.